In this video, we'll be taking a look at our list of the top 10 upcoming PC open world games of 2016 and 2017. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Sea of Thieves. The latest game from one of the most beloved development studios in Rare, Sea of Thieves is a multiplayer pirate game and exact details of the game are pretty scarce. We know that the game has a great watercolor art style and user-generated content is a big aspect to the game, with players having the ability to craft their own story. Keep in mind that Sea of Thieves is a game being published by Microsoft in an attempt to put more focus on PC gaming, so hopefully it turns out good when it releases in 2016. Number 9, Homefront the Revolution. The original Homefront is a game that many people are mixed on. The game had a terrific atmosphere and a very engaging story for a first-person shooter. However, the extremely short campaign and the lacking multiplayer component hurt the game quite a bit. Homefront the Revolution takes place 4 years after the events of the original, and instead of the extremely linear design of Homefront, Homefront the Revolution will be an open-world first-person shooter. The fact that the game is open-world probably means the single player is going to have a lot more content, so as long as they can retain the excellent storytelling and the atmospheric setting, Homefront the Revolution could be a sleeper hit. The game releases on May 17th, 2016.
Everybody run! Go! Come on, fall back! Can't win this!
Got too big. We got it big.
Number 8, Kingdom Come: Deliverance. Developed by Warhorse Studios, Kingdom Come: Deliverance is a game that I'm surprised much more people aren't talking about. The game is an open-world RPG set in the 15th century medieval kingdom of Bohemia. The game has branching quest lines and a very interactive world. Expected to please visually, as well as the game is running on the CryEngine. The story also has promise. The game follows the son of a blacksmith whose family has been killed by an invading army. He seeks revenge and wants to restore his land. Definitely keep Kingdom Come: Deliverance on your radar. The game is expected to hit early access in February, followed by a full release in Q2 2016.
Hal, what are you doing with that weapon in your hand? That's forbidden. Put it away.
Number 7, Tom Clancy's The Division. Ubisoft's ambitious game The Division has been a long time coming. The game was originally announced in 2013 and initially a PC version wasn't even in the works. Eventually, after PC gamers did a bit of pestering, Ubisoft finally announced a PC version of the game as well. However, it hasn't been all smooth sailings for The Division. The game was expected to release back in 2014. Several delays have pushed the game's release all the way to March of 2016. Not only that, an obvious visual downgrade doesn't help either. Regardless, The Division still has a lot of potential. Will that potential be realized? We'll have to wait and see when the game releases on March 8th.
With every challenge met, you will gain power.
Number 6, Lost Ark. Lost Ark is a Korean Diablo-style dungeon crawler. What you'll notice right off the bat is the ridiculously great visuals the game has. These top-down dungeon crawlers aren't usually known for their spectacular graphics, but Lost Ark definitely looks fantastic. The particle effects, the boss fights, the world design, it all looks great. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly when Lost Ark will be released, but hopefully at the end of this year or sometime early next year. Number 5, Ghost Recon Wildlands. Ghost Recon Wildlands is another very ambitious game from Ubisoft. It's an open-world co-op third-person shooter, emphasis on co-op since this is a game you want to play with 3 other people. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck with bots and no one likes that. Ghost Recon Wildlands looks to have a giant, fully explorable world, and the cool thing about Wildlands is that the world is ever evolving. Even if the player himself doesn't interact with it, NPCs will interact with each other, causing the world to constantly change. Hopefully, Wildlands doesn't find itself with the same problems that The Division has had. We probably won't see this game until 2017, so they got a bit of time. Hopefully, they deliver.
What's our next target?
Number 4, Mafia 3. Mafia 3 is the debut game by developer Hangar 13. Mafia 2 was one of the best games of last generation. It had an engaging story and a great world that was linear. Now with Mafia 3, the game will be a full-blown open-world title set in 1968 New Orleans, allowing the player to freely explore it. The story follows Lincoln Clay, a Vietnam War veteran. He survives a murder attempt by the Italian mobs, which causes him to start his own mafia to get revenge. The game does seem to have more of an action-y and big-budget feel over Mafia 2, which is gonna make some people skeptical. Regardless, let's just hope the game lives up to expectations when it releases in 2016. Number 3, Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is a game that kind of came out of nowhere. The game is a narrative-driven MMO with a mix of FPS and TPS gameplay with RPG elements. Warfare in Tarkov has sparked massive panic. Local population fled the city, but there are some that stayed looking to improve their own fortunes at the expense of others. The player is a mercenary that survived the initial Tarkov conflict, and now you have to cooperate, find information about the city, and explore the world. The game sounds so interesting and people need to know about it. Who knows how the game will turn out, but it looks really cool. Escape from Tarkov releases in 2016. Number 2, No Man's Sky. The term open world doesn't really describe No Man's Sky. The small team over at Hello Games are looking to create an open universe game with procedurally generated planets all for the player to explore. However, the game isn't just endless exploration without a purpose. No Man's Sky does have a goal: to reach the center of the galaxy. How you do it is up to you. No Man's Sky is a game that's going to have a ridiculous amount of content. From exploring a near endless amount of planets, upgrading your ship, battling other life, the game is so ambitious, especially considering it's coming from a very small team. No Man's Sky has been in development for many years, and whether or not it will truly live up to expectations is still up in the air. But the release is approaching quickly, as it's finally set to come June of this year. Number 1, Star Citizen. I've mentioned the term ambitious quite a bit of times in this video, but when you talk about ambition, you have to look at Star Citizen. The game has gotten over $100 million of fan funding. That's absolutely insane. But also with that kind of funding, that puts a lot of pressure on the developer. The game itself is a mix of many genres. Being a space sim, a first-person shooter, and MMO, it's trying to do it all. The game will also have a single-player campaign, Squadron 42. That campaign will feature the likes of Gary Oldman and Mark Hamill. Yeah, at this point, you probably realize the scope of Star Citizen. With games like this that are so hyped up, it's almost impossible to live up to expectation. We're just hopeful that the game will release soon. It's expected to come in 2016. So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 upcoming PC open world games of 2016 and 2017. What do you think? Do you agree with our list? Disagree? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching and goodbye.